Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Well, last I checked, we had a precarious ceasefire that was still working. And I checked 5 minutes ago. It could have completely changed by now. I don't know.
It's all good, though, now.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Everything's good. I think because President Trump was so angry at both parties yesterday, Iran launching the late missile and Israel's response to it, I think he surprised them with his
I think so, too. And
anger.
And to Keith's point, he was carrying the white hat when he was so angry, but he put it on when he landed in the Netherlands. So I felt we were good.
It's a good sign. He had some good phone calls on the flight.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything was taken care of. He got to be able to land at NATO and say, you all are going to start paying your fair share, or I'm going to introduce you to a couple of bombers. Okay?
Yeah.
Just expect that anytime.
Yeah, we got an update on NATO for sure.
Jeez. So I think they were in the middle of a big retaliation strike, and because of Trump's ire, they canceled it, and he called him back.
Certainly appears that way.
I think that's exactly what happened. It's so amazing that the Drudge Report is having a hard time spinning this negative.
Oh, wait, you're talking about the Drudge Report? That's also the James Carville go-to site for news?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. They had to resort to headlines like, Trump goes berserk. Well, yeah, thank goodness he did. He showed how passionately he felt about this. The other thing was, he drops an F-bomb on live TV. Well, yeah, but he got Israel to back off, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So, I mean, I love the fact that now they're claiming, too. 4 people briefed on the situation said that we didn't destroy Iran's weapons.
Yeah.
We only set them back a few months.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say I believe our president. I believe our president.
Mm-hmm.
But could he come out in a week or two and say, well, I was giving wrong information, and we're going to have to just turn Iran into glass now because I failed? Yes, I guess that's possible.
Could happen.
But I doubt it. Mm-hmm. Although I will say, originally I thought that Iran bent the knee for the ceasefire right away.
Yeah.
And I thought that's because we destroyed them. They knew.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to thinking, well, maybe that's just Iran playing dead.
Maybe. I don't think so, though.
But again, as I started out, I believe our president.
Yeah, I think so, too. Apparently through their intermediaries, the Qataris, they said, we're done.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything else. So we're like, okay. We sent the message back through the Qataris that we're good with that. And so if you're done, then we're done, too.
That was the whole point.
Let's reach an agreement.
Yeah.
It's what we told you in the beginning. We
Right.
don't want you to have a nuclear weapon. We're not interested in destroying your country, but give up your weapons program. And it'll be fine. If you're only enriching uranium for the purpose of peaceful use for energy, well, you did that. You got that going a long time ago. It only has to be enriched to 3 to 5%. You're at 60%. I think you're good. Okay, so let's move on with that. So CNN reported through these 4 people from the DIA that the damage wasn't really significant, and it only set Iran back a few months, and we'll see. But on his way to the NATO summit yesterday, President Trump was asked about the damage reports from Iran.
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better.
We got enough with all
It's all
of you.
fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots; they're after me. They want to try and demean.
Wow. What other country on earth has to put up with this? where some people inside start leaking, that didn't happen. There's no damage there.
Big surprise we didn't tell people when we were going to bomb Iran.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't informed. Yeah, that's why, doofus.
Right. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We've got, the other day, Whoopi Goldberg and what she had to say. And Joy Behar, I think yesterday or Monday. Just these people are
they're the worst.
But stupid. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff was asked about the leak as well.
Underline early, but it was leaked. Somebody decided to leak this from the DIA. And it's being used in the media, and it's all over today, that, Trump said it was obliterated, but it's not obliterated. It's set back months, but it's not over from Iran's nuclear program's perspective. Your reaction to that, and I assume you know what we're talking about with this leaked intel report.
Well, it goes without saying that leaking that type of information, whatever the information, whatever side it comes out on, is outrageous. It's treasonous. So it ought to be investigated, and whoever did it, whoever's responsible for it, should be held accountable. It could hurt lives in the future. Leaking is a completely unacceptable thing. But let me give you, because I've read all the damage assessment reports from not just our government, but from other governments. And I'm not going to get into anything that's top secret, but let me tell you for sure what happened here. There are three distinct facilities in Iran that we were concerned with. Isfahan, which is a conversion facility. You cannot weaponize unless you have what's called the conversion process at the beginning of enrichment, and then a conversion process to metallicize the material at the end of enrichment. That conversion facility, which as far as we know is the only facility in Iran that can do this, was completely destroyed at Esfahan. It's above ground. It was hit with a 30,000-pound bunker buster, and it could not survive that hit. So they have no conversion opportunity, and that means they cannot weaponize, even if they've enriched to 90%. Then there are two other nuclear reactors in Natanz, one above ground and one below ground. The below ground one we know we eviscerated, and the above ground one, which had been hit by the Israelis and had been substantially damaged, we put another bomb on top of it just to make sure that it was eviscerated.
Take that with you.
And we know for a fact it was. Fordo is the last enrichment reactor that was operating there. And we put 12 bunker buster bombs on Fordo. There's no doubt that it breached the canopy. There's no doubt that it was well within reach of the depth that these bunker buster bombs go to. And there's no doubt that it was obliterated.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a pretty good explanation.
It sure is.
That doesn't seem like we just set him back a couple of months.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Wow. But that's the first in-depth assessment of it I've heard. So
really good. Really thorough.
That's great. Also yesterday, CNN discussed what it's like to chat with the average Iranian citizen.
Listen to this, man.
To Israel stays in place, and that is part of the discussion, right?
Yes, absolutely part of the discussion. And, you know, I remember, Dan, at one point being in Tehran years ago, and they're chanting death to America all around me, even as I say, oh, I'm an American reporting for CNN, and they were happy to speak to me. So that those two is sort of jarring realities.
Death to America. We're spinning it as a good thing now.
The friendliness have existed together.
Oh, okay.
But I am
It's a friendly death to America.
Some in Iran
It's a mostly peaceful death to America.
Oh, you were saying that. You want death to America, too.
A sense of deep uncertainty about the future and of what happens next, and also of what the role is of the Supreme Leader. Now, we've heard that he's 86. We know his health has been ailing. But that in this moment, where everything that he has stood for and put Iran on the line for, which is giving up economic future, giving up so many
he stood for that?
bright stars
That's what he did.
who have left the country.
So many bright stars
all
have
in
left the country.
pursuit of a nuclear program designed to counter Israel, right? That all of that being put on the table has, for the first time from some, I have heard, what was all of this for?
So maybe they're coming to their senses. Who knows? But you can't look past the sacrifices of the supreme leader.
No, you can't.
Because he's put it all on the line.
You can't. He's put it all on the line.
You just have to. Your heart goes out to him, doesn't it?
And the people, we talked the other day about Iran and, regime change, but the people are unarmed. They don't have any arms. So they have to hope that some people in the military and the police come to their side.
Iranians don't have any arms?
That's what I heard this morning.
I didn't. I did not realize.
I was not aware of that either, but I heard.
How do they pick things up?
No legs either, I hear.
Well, they all go by the name of Bob.
Okay. All right.
I mean, would you, if you were a totalitarian regime, would you want your populace armed either?
No, I would not. I would want people without no arms and no legs.
It's the first thing that dictators do is to disarm people. And so if you're cutting off arms, they're not going to be able to pick up any weapons at all. No.
Yeah, forbidden. Completely forbidden.
Wow.
Wow.
That makes it difficult.
It does.
To revolt.
So
the
report that I heard was talking about they have to hope that people from the military and the police will be on their side if they want to, revolt and actually make it stand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a coincidence that the more private gun ownership, the more free the society. The less private gun ownership, the more oppressed the society.
No, that's not a coincidence.
No, it is not.
That's proven out over and over and over again in world history. So going back to yesterday's walk from the White House to Marine One, here is that now very famous line from President Trump as it related to the possible breaking of the ceasefire between Israel and Iran.
I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah, you got enough. There you go. You understand that?
I think so. I think I got that.
Okay.
Pretty sure I know what that means.
You understand that?
Now, me and my white hat, which I refuse to wear, are walking to Marine One, if you'll excuse me.
I know.
I've got a couple of phone calls to make to the other side of the planet.
I'm sick of your cackling, okay? So you got what I mean? Okay. I'm out.
Some pretty obvious righteous indignation there.
No doubt about it.
Really pissed. And I think it made all the difference yesterday. Otherwise, we'd still have this war going on.
I think so.
It would now be the 14-day war.
Well, or 12 plus.
Yeah.
12 plus.
Right. On his way to the NATO summit in the Netherlands, Trump was also asked about the possibility of regime change in Iran.
Oh.
Do you want to see regime change in Iran?
No. If there was, there was. But no, I don't want it. I'd like to see everything calm down as quickly as possible. Regime change takes chaos. And ideally, we don't want to see so much chaos. So we'll see how it does. You know, the Iranians are very good traders, very good business people, and they got a lot of oil. They should be fine. They should be able to rebuild and do a good job. They're never going to have nuclear, but other than that, they should do a great job.
They're never going to have nuclear, but other than that,
fine.
I mean, a lot of countries don't have nuclear power, so they get along just fine. And Iran will as well. He was also asked about the possibility of Iranian sleeper cells. This is something we're all, pretty nervous about especially because of Joe Biden and the 4 years that he allowed anybody from anywhere to just flood into our country.
Everybody else.
Iranian sleeper cells in the United States.
Biden let a lot of super cells. And Biden was an incompetent president, had no idea what he was doing.
Yes.
He hardly ever signed a document. Other people signed documents for him with the auto pen. It was gross incompetence. And among everything else, he let a lot of supercells in, many from Iran. But hopefully we'll take care of them. What Biden did to this country should never be forgotten.
Amen.
Amen. I'm done.
Yeah. I'm out.
Back home, border czar Tom Homan was also asked about the sleeper cells here in the U.S.
It was a significant threat, and I've been talking about this for 4 years. I was a Fox News contributor before I came back with President Trump, and for 4 years I said my biggest concern is the open border causes the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen. Every day, the average under Biden administration, every single day, the average was 1,800. 1,800 gotaways, known gotaways. People we had on video, drone traffic, censored traffic. These are people we knew came to the United States, entered illegally. We don't know who they are, where they came from, why they're here. But they got away, and we know that number, 1,800 average every day. So every day I was complaining about the mess we had to clean up if we got back in power. And I tell you, ever since the election in November when President Trump won, I worked with a lot of people who's back with the administration now. We started the plans. How are we going to fix this? First, we got to plug the hole, secure the border. We had the most secure border in the history of the nation today because of President Trump. So we plugged the hole. Now we got to bail out the water, and that's what we started planning in November. We knew we had a big job to do, and we're working it.
Boy, that's the analogy we've always used, too. Stop the flood.
Yes.
Bail out the water.
Yep. I mean, that's how it would work if you had a leak under your sink.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do.
Yep.
So I just typed in 1,800 times the 4 years that Biden was in office. So 2.664 million known gotaways. And then I just went to the old Google. I said, what city in the U.S. has a population of 2.664 million? Now, granted, this is just the city limits. Chicago comes up. So the population of the city of Chicago was known to get through. Never mind the ones that snuck through or were given those nebulous court dates that they'll never attend. This administration, like President Trump just said, you should never forget what the Biden administration did to this country.
And I shan't. I shan't ever forget it. We can never forget it. Although the problem with saying that is we do. Then we just forget it.
Yeah,
like the next day, we've moved on to something else, and we've completely forgotten about it.
Like the auto pen thing. I'm already, just let it go.
Just let it go.
What are we doing?
Who cares who was running the country for 4 years?
It's over. It's over, really. And I mean, unless someone actually comes out and says, yes, I did it on my own.
Well, we just had an
Joe
admission.
Biden.
We had an admission from Neera Tanden. You ever heard of Neera Tanden?
But she claimed that she was still under directive, though, of the president.
Just an aide to Joe Biden that nobody's ever heard of. She had access. She could sign things. She had authorization to use the auto pen.
Right. Incredible.
It's incredible. Who are these people?
Those are the people in the pictures in the background that you saw that were, you know, every time you saw a picture from KJP. And those are our people.
Yep.
Yeah, that's who they are.
It's crazy. Along these same lines, got another interesting story to share.
The Department of Homeland Security says Yusuf Meridano had been living in the United States illegally for nearly 8 years since U.S. officials determined he lied on a visa application on Sunday, just 4 months after the Iranian foreign national was added to the U.S.'s known or suspected terrorist list. He was arrested in central Mississippi. He's now in ICE custody pending removal proceedings, and he's not alone. Over the past 48 hours, ICE officials have arrested 11 Iranian nationals spanning 8 states nationwide. Among them, 5 possessed previous criminal convictions. Their crimes ranging from grand larceny to drug and firearm possessions. Also among those apprehended, Ribbar Karimi. While arresting him in northern Alabama, ICE officials say they found his Islamic Republic of Iran Army identification card and allege he served as an Iranian sniper between 2018 and 2021.
Okay, but just a sniper. Leave him alone. Where was he captured? Did they say Mississippi for that guy?
The first guy was Mississippi, yeah.
Alabama for that guy.
Well, then he's just an Alabama man. Leave him alone. How many Alabama men are snipers? We're not arresting all of them.
I hope not.
All of a sudden now, because he's from Iran, you've got a problem with him.
Yeah.
Who hasn't had a little grand larceny and some drug use? Seriously.
Quite a marketable skill, too. I'm a sniper.
Yeah.
Hanging out in a foreign country.
Wow. Cool. Wow. So 11 just yesterday, right? Yeah. So that's a good start.
They were ready with, as soon as this attack on Iran, move.
It's incredible. All right. Well, you've heard us talk about this, and for good reason. Share the Arrows is one of the most powerful women's events happening this year, and it's hosted by Blaze TV's own Allie Beth Stuckey. It happens on October 11th here in Dallas, and if there's a woman in your life who's been craving real encouragement and biblical truth, your wife, your daughter, your sister, this is for her. It's a full day of worship. teaching and powerful conversations with bold women that you're absolutely going to love. There's a whole long list of them. So we would love to see you there. You'll be able to worship with these people, and it'll be led by Francesca Battistelli, who it's going to be something special. We all know how loud the culture can get. This is a chance to push pause, lean into truth, and get recentered in purpose. Send someone you love or go yourself. Tickets and details are at sharethearrows.com. Sharethearrows.com. Still some VIP options are available. Sharethearrows.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed is here.
Really like to hear more eventually about this this Neera Tanden woman who was in control of the auto pen at times. And we're just scratching the surface here. We're just getting to just barely underneath the surface as to who had access to this and who was using it. But it usually wasn't Joe Biden, apparently.
Well, no, but he was. They're saying that they were under the directive of him.
Yeah,
is my point.
Sorry, no,
is my point. So
yeah,
unless someone actually says they did it without his direction,
well, they're not going to say that.
Nothing. Well, then there you go.
They're not going to say that.
Then let it go. We got nothing.
Yeah, I don't want to let it go. I'm ready for somebody to be held accountable. I know that's a thing we don't normally do in this country. We don't hold anybody accountable or responsible for anything.
If there's no whistleblower or someone who says
eventually
I was doing
there
it
will
on
be.
my own.
Maybe there will be eventually. I don't know, but we need to get to the bottom of it because it's unacceptable that there was a president for 4 years and everybody knew it. I don't care about the cover-up effort because even though they tried to cover it up, we knew.
Yeah, we certainly did.
I mean, it certainly wasn't secret. He was out there every day proving how incompetent he was. So for 4 years, he's effectively not totally in charge of his duties. I just think that's despicable. And somebody's got to be held accountable. And, our question always is, will anything come of it? I just can't accept that this time, again, it's going to be, no, nothing's going to come of it. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. At least they're moving in, taking a look.
Are they?
Investigating. Yeah, they're trying. Okay. I think they're looking into it. Now, back to President Trump's flight to Europe. He described some of his recent phone calls from Russia's Vladimir Putin.
I'd like to see a deal with Russia. As you know, Vladimir called me up. He said, can I help you with Iran? I said, no, I don't need help with Iran. I need help with you. And I hope we're going to be getting a deal done with Russia.
I help you with Iran.
Help with Iran?
I don't need help with Iran. I need help with you.
A little late for the help with Iran.
Yeah, I already took care of that, Vlad.
I mean, every time it's us. Every time. Nobody wants, including Russia, nobody wants Iran with nuclear weapons. Nobody. Do they do anything about it? No. Did China do anything about it? No. Just us. Every single time.
You could probably make the case that China and Russia were helping them.
Yeah, you could make that case. Well, and Medvedev the other day said that there are plenty of countries that still want to deliver them a nuclear warhead. And he alluded to the fact that maybe even they would, and then he backed off that and said, no, we're not going to.
Yeah, he backed off after he saw
somebody will.
After he saw the bombers fly over.
Yeah.
Caught the shadow. Oh, you know what? No.
Man, incredible. And the president was also asked about seeing Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelenskyy at the NATO summit.
Do you think you'll meet with Zelenskyy when you're there?
Yeah, probably. I'll see him. Yeah.
What would you say to him?
Say, how you doing?
What's he supposed to say?
He's in a tough situation. Should have never been there.
I'll say
he's supposed to say, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
I don't know. I'll probably see him. Whatever. No, clearly nothing formal is set up for Trump and Zelenskyy over there.
Here's the follow-up question to that, though. Why would you see him?
Because
they're not a NATO country.
Right.
Beat it!
Well, he was taking pictures with them.
You should roll the next video because you'll see him hanging out for picture day.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't believe this.
Can we take photos?
Yeah, you can take photos. Yes. Take photos.
Yeah, I got it.
Who's asking? Can we take photos?
They're posed.
All right, now look upper right, Aaron Stewart. Pause it right there. Pause it.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is. Actually wearing a suit.
Is that a suit or is that just his dark uniform?
It was being reported as a suit.
Okay.
What the hell is Zelenskyy doing there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, how mmany times do we have to tell this guy, you're not part of NATO, and you're not going to be part of NATO?
Right.
A little tag-along, man. Who invited him? Jeez. Seriously, who invited him to this?
I don't know. He was there begging for money.
Yes, he was.
I wonder if he was even invited. Or did
he may not have been.
Show up with his hand out
It might have been just like Ye showed up at the Grammys, just walk the red carpet and leave. I love that. Actually, I give him a thumbs up for that. That's funny. If he wasn't invited, he just showed up, gets in the picture, leaves.
Yeah. Just shows up for the NATO photo. Okay. Yeah.
I gotta go. Hey, you guys, don't forget to send me some money.
Yeah. Just $40 billion a year, every year.
The NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. Or is it Root? I don't know. We have clips from him. He's the one that invited him.
He did get invited.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. All right.
The invitation was extended on June 2nd. I'm just trying to figure out why. Of course, accepted. Right. Yeah. The specific events Zelenskyy would attend at the summit were not immediately clear.
Because you're not part of it.
Right. You know what? You smile for the photo on the stairs and then get the hell out of here.
Wow.
Or you can go get yourself a glass of lemonade over there if you want.
You know what? You can go and set up a booth. Go and sit at this table over here. And if any of the leaders want to come talk to you, they know where to find you. I guess, is that what we're doing?
Here's a sign. We'll kiss for cash.
It's got a little vendor booth. A little
That's what he has.
Kissing vendor booth.
And he's got a little tip jar. And you can use that for your war against Russia.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yep. Good times.
Yeah, good times. And he's only asking for $40 billion a year. Don't worry about it. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what we've given him already.
No doubt. Babylon Bee can go ahead and use the kissing booth in the story.
They can you guys are going to steal it anyway.
Vladimir sets up the kissing booth at the NATO summit. Hilarious.
Wow. Well, that's good to see that he's still in
funny.
there.
I know it's not funny at all.
It's
he's
not.
Begging for money, and he's not in NATO.
Not.
Makes it look bad.
Yep.
Makes them look bad. But, you know.
It makes us look like liars.
Yeah.
Again. Still. Because we promised a long time ago this wasn't going to happen.
Now, Trump can say, hey, I didn't invite the dude. That was this dingleberry.
Yes. And clearly, he didn't.
Right. Right.
He didn't. He wouldn't.
Had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. And at least we're not getting the message every week that, we sent another $6 billion to Ukraine.
That's for sure.
We sent another $500 million. Here's another $9 billion to Ukraine.
Right.
Nothing. We've heard nothing since, except the fact that all that was put on hold. Like almost immediately when he took office, that was all stopped.
And what a shame.
Great. Yeah, what a shame.
And so part of what Trump is doing over there is trying to get NATO to all the member countries to pay up 5% of their GDP. This chart he posted, you got to see this.
All right.
See that way down at the bottom? See, it's supposed to be 2%, and some of those countries can't even do that. Spain being the biggest offender, and
1.28%.
I don't know if we're going to kick NATO out or kick Spain out of NATO because
they can't cover it.
That guy doesn't want to. And his reasoning, this prime minister, what's his name, Pedro Sanchez, he says that the consequences of such a rise would impact their welfare state.
Oh, we don't want that
in Spain.
Oh,
and
wow.
So therefore,
we don't want that.
I mean, and the 5% is for the next few years, right?
Right,
It's graduated amount.
Right, and that's what Trump he posted that before he went over there, and we have breaking news this morning. We can play the clip later, but he has gotten apparently an agreement of NATO nations to go up to 5%. I don't know where Spain is on this. Again,
interesting.
Maybe
5% from 1.28.
Yeah,
that's a huge commitment.
Well, I know that you're talking about. For Spain.
Yeah,
Spain. I don't know that Spain is agreed to that.
I'm surprised Poland is at the top of this list at 4.12%.
If Spain doesn't agree to that, then you can put Sanchez on the same plane as Zelenskyy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get him out of there.
I like this, though. Poland pulling their share, and so is Estonia. Then, of course, it's us. And then after that, Latvia, Greece, Lithuania, Finland. The richest countries in Europe just aren't doing it. Germany, for instance, just letting us do all the heavy lifting. You're welcome, once again.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here.
Absolutely.
Tweet number 1. Efforting thought criminal. The Drudge Report has become a stain on the blue dress of internet news. That's good.
Thank you. Be here all week.
Yeah. Do some Googling later if you're too young to get the reference.
Right. That's almost a 30-year-old reference now.
Oh, I know.
Is that incredible? Dalton Bell. If an armed security is a polite society, does that explain how New York City and California have fallen? Yes, it does. And by the way, speaking of New York City falling, Zohran Mamdani won the Democrat primary last night. Our only hope is Eric Adams running as an independent.
Honestly, I don't know who is running on the Republican side.
It doesn't matter. They're not going to win.
It's Curtis Sliwa.
Sliwa?
Yeah. So the only hope is Eric Adams
in
this independent run that he's doing.
I mean, it was nice to see Cuomo get his teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
Because he just expected that nomination.
But not from this radical socialist.
I know.
I mean, this.
I know.
Wow. Could you have imagined this even, I don't know, last year? Yeah, in a year, New York City is about to elect a radical communist to be their mayor. It'll
be great because you'll have city government grocery stores to shop at.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Public supermarket.
Right.
Yeah.
Price controls.
It'd be awesome.
I mean, it's a great experiment in communism right in our largest city in America.
Good luck.
It'd be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sarah the Band tweets, shouldn't Zelenskyy be on his knees in that photo?
I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he actually was.
Man. All right. So we've got Chewing the Fat
All
to
right.
get to
Let's
with Jeffy.
Oh, yeah. And there we go.
Yeah.
This here, so sing it loud and proud. Yes, it's right time. There's no shame in allowed. It's not listen with a flute that's shaking the ground.
Yeah.
He's a much bigger star known the world around. Now quiet the applause and take your seat.
Yeah, quiet the applause.
Before Jeffy has to eat.
Definitely applause right now. All right, happy Leon Day. Marks halfway point to Christmas. Leon is Noel spelled backwards, so happy Leon Day.
Oh, cute.
We're at the halfway point.
Oh.
You got to celebrate. And also tomorrow marks the 10-year anniversary of the Supreme Court's decision to legalize same-sex marriage. So go out. There's more celebration there. Happy about that. And of course we have. It's still hot outside. Now that it's summer, if I hear one more news report tell me that I need to hydrate or limit my time in the sun, I may lose my mind. I may lose my mind. And we have our first tropical storm in the Atlantic right now. Tropical storm Andrea. She's going nowhere. Nothing to worry about. But
good.
Just a reminder that it's on like Donkey Kong, as some would say. Hurricane season. Dolly Parton. Who is 40, 41 now? Something like that?
Something like that. If you double it.
Closer to 79, yeah. Is headed to Vegas. Tickets on sale today at 9 a.m. Pacific time for the 6-concert run at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. And I'm sure they ran this by marketing, but its official name is Dolly live in Las Vegas. She's doing 6 concerts. It's being called a mini residency that's going to run at the resort from December 4th through December 13th. It's happening the same week as the National Finals Rodeo, so there's probably going to be other big country acts in town at the same time. She's bigger than most of those performers in today's world anyway. So I couldn't find out exactly how much they paid her, but I'm sure it ain't cheap. So I guess we'll see if there's an extension to the mini residency if demand is high, which I'm sure it will be. And her birthday's in January. She turns 80, so maybe she celebrates her 80th in Vegas. Or I can see maybe filming the mini residency and having the birthday celebration on Netflix, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of awesome. So, I mean, we'll see.
Look at her. That's almost an 80-year-old woman.
I know.
Not that right there. There you go. That's almost an 80-year-old. That's amazing.
Yes,
that's amazing.
Coming to a park or a bar near you soon. You may have already showed up. Really, Meta had the Ray-Ban collab with their AI-enabled glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've just partnered with Oakley. So they're going to have Oakley Summer, which is the AI-enabled sunglasses geared toward athletes. It's a limited edition glasses with gold color accents, going to be available for pre-order starting July 11th for just $499. Or you can wait until later on in the summer for the rest of the collection, and then they go to $399 a pair. So, not bad. And the Ray-Bans that came out before them, these souped-up Oakleys, have nearly double the battery life at 8 hours of use, charging case that can hold 48 hours of charge, a camera that can shoot 3K video. The glasses also have an IPX4 water-resistant rating, which makes them pretty suited for rainstorms and filming outside. According to Excelsior Luxadia, which owns Ray-Ban and Oakley, they sold 2 million pairs of the Meta Ray-Bans, and they look to sell at least 10 million pair annually by the end of this year of these Meta glasses. So just know you're being filmed wherever you're at all times. Congratulations is in order to Travis Hunter, a rookie in the National Football League, reigning Heisman Trophy winner, has just signed a 4-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars for $46,649,114, fully guaranteed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But that's not what makes the contract so great. He also received $30 million, $566,628 as a signing bonus, paid in full up front.
So $76 million guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Wow. As a rookie. Hasn't played a down in the NFL. Not one. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Just take a moment.
What a sweet deal for
Think
him.
about your checkbook right now. Shall we just think about your checkbook right now? Then take a moment to think about waking up tomorrow with an extra $30,566,628.
Nice, yeah. Wow.
Just a moment.
No, it's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah,
it's a decent deal.
That is pretty sweet. Congratulations to Travis. And man, not a down.
Yeah.
Also, your BYU Cougars.
Yes, indeed.
Just signed the 5-star quarterback recruit,
Ryder
Lyons.
Yep.
Got the deal done. He announced it on McAfee yesterday.
Yeah. Sure did.
Dual threat, but he plans on joining. It's not this year, though. Coming to 2027, right?
Yes.
As a season,
because he's
going
on
a mission. Yeah.
Weirdly, he's going on a 1-year mission, which I didn't know existed. I don't know if that's a special thing for him. It's always a 2-year deal for the boys. But he's said all along it's 1 year.
Yeah.
So whatever. But we'll see him in 2027.
That was part of his NIL deal.
Yeah.
I get 1 year.
Yeah.
I'll do the 1-year mission, then I'm done.
This is the number 3 overall recruit in Rivals.com. Number 3.
Amazing. Do you have the stats right there in front of you for Ryder?
I do. Look at that. He's actually about 6'3", people are saying now. 6'3", 220. Got a rocket for an arm. He's BYU was the first to offer him in 8th grade when he was 14 years old.
There you go.
Everybody wanted him, though. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, they were all after him.
USC, where his brother plays. Florida, Florida State, Notre Dame, Oregon. It came down to BYU, Oregon. And he... Apparently, Oregon was on the phone with this kid up until 2 in the morning yesterday, trying to convince him to come to Oregon.
And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
And at 3 in the morning, he called them to say, yeah, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
And thank you, Ryder, for not going to the school where they chant F the Mormons every time we go up to...
I hope he told them that.
To play them
I hope somebody told them that.
I hope so. Be nice. It'd be nice to just... And in your face to them. If that makes me a bad person, so be it. It's in your face, Oregon. But, that's... I mean, we just got A.J. DeBonza last year.
Is he playing this
for the
year?
basketball team. He's playing this
basketball.
year.
Yeah, he played this year. What about football, though? I mean,
football, this is... what do you mean, what about football?
This year? What are we doing this year? We're counting on Ryder. next year.
Well, we got a 4-star kid a month and a half or so ago from Stanford when they fired their coach.
Oh, that's right.
He transferred to BYU, so might be him.
Okay.
We're not sure. And it might still be Jake Retzloff. I don't know, but he's been charged with, well, not charged, actually. He's just being sued for sexual abuse.
Right.
So we'll read.
Is that where we're drawing the line? I like that.
They've said not a word about it.
I like that.
So we don't know.
I'm a fan of. Hey, he's not been charged.
He's not been charged.
So,
right.
Why don't you zip it? He's on the field, okay?
Zip it.
I'm a fan of that. Hey, be sure to subscribe to my daily show, Chewing the Fat, available wherever you get your podcasts. Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher, free of charge until, well,
who knows when. You're
at least
fighting
today.
hard, though.
At least today.
That's all you can
subscribe.
guarantee, right?
Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher.
Yeah. This June 24th marks 3 years since Roe v. Wade was overturned. You believe that? It's been 3 years already. Here's what you may not know, though. Abortion numbers have surged to a 10-year high because the battleground has now shifted from the courtroom to our homes. Today, over 60% of abortions happen through the abortion pill, just taken in silence, a lot of times alone. The preborn network of clinics are standing in that gap, though, meeting women in their most desperate hour. And here's what they're seeing. Young mothers, terrified and misled, are delivering their babies. Tiny, perfectly formed, onto bathroom floors. These precious babies. Once called just tissue, now lie lifeless. 11% of these women who take the abortion pill will suffer serious health complications. Countless others will carry emotional scars for a lifetime. So when you give to preborn, you're not just saving a baby, you're saving a mother too. You're giving her hope, you're giving her financial support, and the truth. Preborn has already rescued over 350,000 babies, but there are so many more who need our help. Your tax-deductible gift makes this mission possible. So to donate right now, go to your phone and dial pound 250. Say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby. Or go to preborn.com/Pat.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yes, you are. And you're in the middle of Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher here on Pat Gray Unleashed. This is just the beginning. The Stop Hiring Humans ad campaign from Artesian AI, a San Francisco startup that sells virtual employees such as Ava, the AI-powered sales rep. The campaign launched in California last year. It didn't really go over well, but he launched some billboards in New York at the end of last month. And he just wanted to get, it cost him $50,000 for placements across Manhattan, including Times Square. You saw the Times Square ad there then. And he's also got him up on the side of some bus stops in New York on the street. And he's got big roadside billboards as well for Stop Hiring Humans from Artesian. And he just wanted to go viral for his company. And it worked, and I'm helping him out as well. But the resistance can breathe easy, apparently, because the posters are just part of this viral stunt, and people are already vowing to fight the rise of machines. And so we'll see what happens. Their original slogans didn't work well, so they upped their game. Now up yours. Artisans won't complain about work-life balance, and artisans won't come into work hungover.
I believe it's artisan.
Oh no!
But
okay,
maybe that's just me.
You call them whatever you want.
Okay,
I don't care what you call them.
No, if you don't care about getting it right, that's fine. That's fine.
It's artisan,
right?
That's their name.
Right,
artisan. That's what I said.
Yeah,
artesian. That's what I said.
You said one of them.
I said one of them.
That is true.
Have you seen The Extinction yet on Netflix?
No.
Okay. So it was filmed back in 2018, and it got bad ratings and terrible, and never did get to the theaters. But it's on Netflix, and well worth a watch.
Really?
Well worth a watch because it's it ties into this Artesian. AI ads, because it's man versus machine, or is it machine versus man? I thought it was an interesting concept. I thought it was interesting. I liked it. And just on a side note, a federal judge just ruled that Anthropic, the AI startup, can train its large language models on published books without authors' permissions. So don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
You're all right. Don't worry about it. Let's see, what do we have time for? I want to be sure to mention that Carmelo Anthony, 17, was charged with first-degree murder over the death of Austin Metcalf in Collin County, Texas, yesterday. You remember the stabbing death on April 2nd of this year at the Memorial High School. The defense attorney, I watched the defense attorney for Carmelo Anthony speak on using the self-defense as their defense.
Yeah.
He said, we're confident that when all the facts are presented, the full story is heard, the jury will reach the right conclusion, and justice will be done. Yeah, let's hope that's so.
Let's hope
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. They still have $530,000 raised on Give, Send, Go.
Oh my gosh, for him.
I don't know what the documentation is. I don't know if they've spent anything or not. But it was supposed to be for legal fees and other expenses. I'm sure there are plenty of other expenses,
like
on
moving to a gated community. That's another expense.
Murder in Texas is first-degree felony offense, and you could get 5 to 99 years in life with the fine. And he's 17, so he's considered an adult. So we still have. We don't have a trial judge. We don't have any of that. So we've got a long way to go in this case. But it's rolling. It's rolling. And let's hope that justice is served for Carmelo. No question. One last story we can talk about. A quick one with Rachel Zegler. You know her, you love her. She ruined the movie Snow White. So anyway, she's in this new musical in London, Evita, and on her West End debut. And this is becoming a thing, and I don't like it. She sings the show's Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, the iconic song at the end, from a balcony outside the theater.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the crowd shows up and watches and takes pictures.
The crowd's inside, by the way.
No, but
she's outside.
The paying customers are inside, who pay anywhere from $200 to $400 or more bucks a ticket. They catch it on a live stream.
That's amazing.
Come on. No. It's becoming a thing. They did that. The guy who directed this also did this in New York. He had Tom Holland do Shakespeare on the Roof as Romeo while drones filmed him. And then he made his way on stage. And he had Sunset Boulevard featured the cast singing in Times Square. Outside the theater. So it's becoming a thing. I don't like it.
No. Well, you paid a lot of money
I paid money for the seats. I want to see the show.
And now she's going to be doing, I don't know how accurate this is, Sound of Music.
Jeez.
Oh.
I think we've run out of actresses or something. What's the problem?
How many things can she ruin?
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
The other day on the Coven, Joy Behar couldn't noodle out why Donald Trump didn't tell the Iranians that we were coming. She was really, really confused about that. She complained that his decision to strike Iranian nuclear sites wasn't nice. First, she objected to the fact that he did not exhaust the 2-week window that he said.
Okay.
And then she objected to the fact that he had not warned Iran ahead of time that he planned to carry out the attacks. And, she's right. That was pretty rude. It was just rude.
Thank you.
I mean, here we are.
I thought you were going the other way with that, but you're right.
No. It's rude.
Okay.
I mean, we were about to be a guest in their country for a few minutes. And the least we could do is let them know when to expect us. We should have called and said, hey, listen, we have these stealth jets and bombers that are really hard to detect. Your radar won't pick them up. So we wanted to let you know we'll be arriving about 6:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
I would have been okay with calling them like at 39:30.
Yeah. Well,
look up.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's about 1:40 a.m. your time, so just be looking out for them. Our pilots will have been flying for around 20 hours straight by that time, so is there a place we can land near your Fordo site with decent hotel accommodations? Maybe, it's not mandatory, but our guys really like the 1,100 thread count bed sheets.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because they're very luxurious. But if you don't have any available in that remote location near Fordo, I guess they could maybe make do with 800 or 900 thread count sheets.
Oh.
Continental breakfast in the morning might be nice, too, because it's a really long flight back.
Yeah, and you're getting in so late, you don't want to be charged full price.
Right. I don't know when checkout is over there, but hopefully we'll be able to make that because I think they'll be leaving fairly early. I mean, is it even possible that you could be more butt stupid than these buffoons at the Coven?
Don't challenge them, bro.
I mean...
Oh, that's...
Come on! We're going to call them and let them know we're coming? I don't think so. Do you want that to happen? Because American lives are at stake here.
No doubt. This was a specific bombing raid. I mean, they have Israel and the United States, for that matter, in the past, have let countries know, hey, we're coming. We're coming.
Yes.
Get out of the way. We want to save civilian lives. But this was completely different than that.
If you're going to hit a sensitive area where there's just rank and file citizens available, just people milling about, we let them know all the time.
Yes, because we don't.
Israel lets them know all the time.
We want to limit civilian casualties.
But we're hitting a nuclear facility here, and it's separate from urban areas.
Correct. All three of them, as far as I know.
Yeah. So it's not like you're going to call them and say, "Hey, we're coming."
It doesn't.
It's asinine.
What's the
asinine?
Somebody's called it butt stupid.
Butt stupid. I've heard that term. It seems to fit here. It seems to fit.
I think it's safe to say that The View is the largest collection of morons in any one location on all of TV.
Yeah, and Bill Maher seems to have noticed that as well. We tend to go a little overboard when Bill Maher says something sensible because it's just so refreshing. I love it so much. And here's something that he said his last show.
Yeah, because remember we played last week. We played the clip of Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes,
and she was.
Yes.
She's okay.
What was it she said at that particular time?
She said that blacks have it rougher. Black women have it rougher in America than
women in Iran.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So here he is talking about that.
What do you think of Whoopi Goldberg saying it's worse to be a black person in America today than a woman in Iran? I say we were talking about the trans issue before, and the New York Times really has come over on that to the sort of the sensible, liberal, not crazy woke position. I think this is a great first step toward getting the Democrats back to sanity, and a second good step would be we got to do something about The View.
Yes.
I really believe that. I mean,
it's huge in Iran, though.
When I mention The View in Iran, all with the same head cover, you can't even tell which one is which.
My district in the great state of Texas is actually a white majority district that President Trump would have won by 25 points. As I said, I'm a direct descendant of a slave. My great-great-grandfather was born on a Rosedown plantation. I am literally being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. That's the progress, because like a lot of white people had to vote for me. A lot. So I don't even ever want to hear Whoopi Goldberg's conversation about how it's worse to be black in America right now. That's a bit far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, Wesley. It is.
Just a bit. Yeah. And it was noticed by somebody on the left. So that's refreshing. I like it. Also, yesterday in Washington, Colorado Representative Brittany Pettersen, who you might remember from a few weeks ago when she brought her baby to Congress.
Yeah, thank you, Mike Johnson, for allowing that to happen.
She once again used her baby as a prop in Congress.
Concerns when I think about, I know we've touched on this a little bit through the questions today.
I mean, why not?
But around the independence
I appreciate her doing her job as a mom. Do whatever.
Your job, no matter what president you served under, Republican or Democrat, was to make sure that this was not a political position while you brought news that some would not be happy about because it reflected what you had to do to address inflation. When I think about the conversation,
I thought you were good
had,
with him being
going through the global pandemic and the economic
Bring
fallout.
a toy for the kid.
I have no idea what she's. I have no idea what
nobody
she's
knows
throughout our country.
Nobody knows what she's talking
services afloat, our businesses
It's amazing
afloat.
to me
And while we
that our
suffered from
Congress
inflation,
doesn't have daycare.
like the rest of the world, we had the quickest, strongest recovery.
I don't know.
Does she have a husband?
We were leading.
Maybe that's why she's dragging the kid to work.
And so much of that was because
where's the dad?
of your leadership.
He's at work doing what men do.
What this position
All right,
means,
we're not even listening to her.
No, I have no idea
it is
what
interesting,
she's
though.
babbling about.
Real quick, she was talking to the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, who refuses to cut interest rates. This is the guy who cut interest rates ahead of the election. But won't do it for Trump. That is becoming an issue.
Yeah, that's a real big issue.
But again, to your point, is there not a daycare?
I don't have a problem with her bringing her kid. I don't. I really don't. It's fine. She's doing her job. She's got to take care of her kid. Bring her kid. Fine. But seriously, I mean, if you're in Congress and you don't have daycare, who is running this joint? What are we doing?
Yeah. And look, it's very admirable to be a mom. You didn't have to take a job that was going to force you to relocate across the country. You didn't have to do that. So,
so you're against her bringing her kid to work?
I'm against her bringing her kid to work. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I'm in. Yeah, I'm in that camp. Crazy, right? I'm just trying to see.
Crazy.
I'm honestly, I'm looking to see if her is she married? Let's see.
They may not have daycare at Congress because
so many of them are so
most
old.
of the women are 85, 90 years old, and they've been there for 56 years apiece.
Their kids
they're
are
a little
already,
beyond the childbearing years.
Retired.
Yes. Yes.
She's married to Ian Silveri, the executive director of Progress Now Colorado.
Yeah, geez.
Well, there you go.
They have 2 children. Where's the other one? So that kid
Probably
can't
with
hang
Dad.
out with the other one?
Probably with Dad.
You think?
I mean, I don't know.
I doubt it, but maybe he's in school? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it say the ages of the kids?
Doesn't.
Okay. Also, Texas Congresswoman, you know her, you love her, you can't live without her. Jasmine Crockett. She was rambling about something.
Seriously.
No, who knows?
Money. Let me tell you, just dropping those few bombs in one day, that was the beginning of what is going to be a very long bill for us as they talk about being efficient. There was nothing efficient about doing it. And maybe if there was some consultation, maybe with those that say have constitutional authority, since we care about the Constitution, then maybe we could have saved the American people not only money, but the lives that are now at risk as we have to put out warnings for American citizens in this country and abroad. Maybe we need to start leading with the people at the middle of what it is that is guiding us.
What?
Instead of following one person. The reason that people like me say things like y'all are in a cult is because somehow people are abdicating their duties and abdicating the very people that put them into office.
You know, she's never even looked at the Constitution. I'll bet she if you showed it to her, she couldn't identify it. Come on. The Constitution is so important to Jasmine Crockett right now.
And so is spending. It costs so much to drop these bombs.
Right.
Let's see how she's been voting on Ukraine packages. I seriously have no idea.
Gosh.
I would love to know.
I saw her babbling at some dinner on a patio somewhere where she said the F word too.
Oh, wow.
Against Trump.
Oh, no.
And yeah, I know. It looked like Jasmine's been having a few dinners. Celebrating
Really?
her congressional seat. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there was a little going on. And
Wow,
so,
we don't fat shame on
I'm not
this,
shaming
on this program.
I'm just saying what it looked like.
Okay.
Not shaming.
Let's see. Yeah, I need to. This isn't what I thought it was. I want to see how she has been voting on funding foreign wars, honestly.
And, you know, she's trying to save USAID as well.
Oh,
which wastes money all over the world. She just doesn't care about any of that.
No.
President Trump, much like the rest of us, no fan of Jasmine Crockett or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has called for his impeachment. And that vote went down in flames yesterday.
Yes, it sure did.
Yeah, 128 Democrats right?
Joined the Republicans
Yes.
in voting no. It was like 374 to 78 or something. I don't have the number exactly in front of me, but it was huge. It was a massive flame out. So AOC, Crockett, and Ilhan Omar were inspirations for a really long post of the president's yesterday.
Yeah. Look how long that thing is, man.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So Truth Social obviously doesn't have any
I
limit
don't think there's
on
a character
words.
limit over there.
No.
He's Donald Trump.
It's
It's his app.
It's
Type
his.
what he wants.
He can defeat that characteristic if it exists. But, just showing it to you in that form is a little bit boring. So Tim Young ran that post from the president through the Star Wars machine.
What a great idea.
I love this.
What a great idea.
A lot more fun to read it like this.
Yeah.
Episode 47. Awesome. Trump's annihilation of AOC. This is great. That definitely helps.
So this is what he wrote.
Definitely does, yeah.
Stupid AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the dumbest people in Congress, is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that the crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. The reason for her rantings is all of the victories that the USA has had under the Trump administration. And it goes on
and on. That's awesome.
And on. That is great.
It's awesome. That's a really good idea.
That's brilliant. I like that a lot.
The local IQ individual, Jasmine Crockett, Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country.
He takes on Schumer here at the end, too, which is awesome. He uses a great line on Schumer.
Yeah.
At the end.
Stu's in my ear. We're halfway through this.
I know.
The auto pin.
That's why I went to look to see what the actual line was here at the end, because I didn't think we were going to
Palestinian
make
senator?
it. Yeah.
Chuck Schumer.
The great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, whose career is definitely on very thin ice. She and Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history. Go ahead.
Good.
Try impeaching me. Yeah.
Go ahead, make my day,
is.
right? Does that what he says?
There it is.
Yeah, and he mentions in there that he just took the cognitive test over at Walter Reed and has challenged AOC in this rant to go take the same test. He said he got every answer right. You go take the test now. Make my day impeaching me. And so she tried and failed miserably, like you just said.
How great is that?
So fun.
Awesome. All right. Grilling season is here, and grilling can be hard work, especially during the summer, but those days are gone. Just got, a few weeks ago, a Chef IQ sensor, and I'm ready for the Food Network now. Chef IQ Sense is a brilliantly simple cooking sensor that goes into whatever you're cooking. It's kind of like a meat thermometer, but wireless and way smarter. It takes all the stress out of not knowing if your meat will come out well. You just enter whatever you're cooking into the Chef IQ Sense app. Could be steak, chicken, fish, whatever. And then I choose precisely how I like it cooked, which will be medium rare. But you could do medium if you want. You could do well done. Whatever temperature you like it at. The Chef IQ Sense continuously monitors and predicts exactly when my food will be done. No opening a hot oven, no sweating over a barbecue frying pan or air fryer. I'm free to kick back, talk to people in the house, go to the store if I need to. It's going to take some time. Maybe you're doing, maybe you're cooking brisket and it's going to take 14 hours. And this will tell you exactly where you stand every step of the way. And you just look at your phone, you see it on the app, and Chef IQ Sense sends an alert to my smartphone when the steak or the chicken or seafood is cooked to perfection. Just the way you like it, no more guessing. You don't have to cut it open at the end to see if, is this going to be too rare? Is it going to be done enough? And they just announced a flash sale. Jump on these quickly because summer grilling season is here, and Chef IQ Sense makes you a grill master. And during their flash sale, you'll get 15% off. Visit chefiq.com. Use the promo code PAT. chefiq.com, promo code PAT.
Call us at 888-900-3393. Pat Gray Unleashed will return.
Got some tweets here. Giblets tweets. Representative Pettersen is doing a discount talking baby video.
I like that.
Adrian Slade. I'm waiting for that representative to start breastfeeding that toddler while she makes her statement on the floor.
That's coming. Big deal.
That's coming.
So what?
No, since when are you so pro-mother?
Time out.
What?
He's not pro-mother. He's pro-possibly getting a breast shot on national TV. That's the only reason he's for this.
That's not altogether false. But
we know. We got it. Sarah Barra tweets, even if there isn't a daycare at Congress, that stupid-ass woman makes enough money to pay for it herself. We should know we pay her salary. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's true. Obviously, it's absolutely just a show. I really don't have a problem with her bringing her kid there. But if she has to walk from her office down to a hearing,
that's the thing.
Leave the kid in the office.
Yes.
I mean,
with an aide, somebody.
Yes, and the aide is like, I'm not watching your kid. I'm not doing that. It's not my job. But unless she wants to bring her kid, bring her kid. Who cares? Really, who cares?
Bring her where? To the office or to the chamber?
If everybody did that, could there be bedlam on the floor of the House?
Hold on. Now
a bunch of crying babies and things. Come on,
I might be changing my tune on this now because Congress is already out of control.
That's right.
This would be very entertaining, and then
we could shut that thing down.
The maturity level would actually go up if we started to get a bunch of little toddlers running around there.
Oh man!
But I'm with you. Leave the kid in the office. Come out and do your thing.
I mean, it's just a show. It's obviously
absolutely
just a show.
Right. It's kabuki
I don't have a
theater.
problem
because
with
that's what bugs me about it.
Yeah.
And if it's because she doesn't want, she wants to be able to breastfeed the kid, I totally get that. Again,
go ahead.
Leave the kid in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Go there after your little spiel.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, but that's not the point.
No, that is not the point.
No. Yeah, she's desperately trying to make some other point there, like, yeah, I could bring my kid here if I want to. Yeah. I don't really know what the point is, because did anybody say
you couldn't?
You couldn't?
Right. Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think that happened.
I don't recall Mike Johnson saying, you're not bringing your damn kid.
Right. So they should tell her, you can't breastfeed, and then she'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also at the Capitol yesterday was HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., and he was sparring with New Jersey Rep Frank Pallone.
You have made a number of major decisions about vaccines, and again, there's been no public comment process or public accountability on that either. What are you afraid of? I mean, with regard to vaccines, are you just afraid of receiving public comments on proposals, or you just think these are fringe views that are contrary to the views of most scientists?
Keep reading.
And that the public comments will reflect
He
this?
really believes this.
You say you want transparency, but there's been no
It'll make sense
public
soon.
process for any of this.
We have a public process for regulating vaccines. It's called the ACIP committee, and it's a public meeting. There will be
fired the
public comment at that
committee.
meeting.
You fired the ACIP.
I fired people who had conflicts with the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, I mean, that's
that industry. That committee has been a template for medical malpractice for 30 years.
I can't.
He's got nothing.
He's got nothing.
Okay.
You can't. You said it right. You can't.
All right.
Beat it. Shut up.
Now, what happens next is absolutely awesome.
Okay, good. Let's see.
If I can take a
more
minute
headbutting
just
between
to
the two.
Respond to something that Congressman Pallone said, and I'll address you, Congressman Pallone. 15 years ago, you and I met. You were at that time a champion for people who had suffered injuries from vaccines. You were very adamant about it. You were the leading member of Congress on that issue. Since then, you've accepted $2 million from pharmaceutical companies in contribution, more than any other member of this committee. And your enthusiasm for supporting the old ACIP committee, which was completely rife and pervasive with pharmaceutical conflicts, seems to be an outcome of those contributions.
Pause it for a second. What a rude bastard.
I know.
That he's talking to somebody
He's about
else.
to get burned because he has no idea what was just said about him in the public space.
Right. Which would have been great if he would have known.
Well, wait, it gets better.
Let's go.
Let it go. Member of this committee.
So great.
And your enthusiasm for supporting the old
Kennedy
ACIP
should have
committee,
stopped.
which
Just
was
stop
completely
talking.
rife
Watch.
and pervasive with pharmaceutical conflicts, seems to be an outcome of those contributions.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
point of order. Point of order.
The chair recognizes
Point of order. The
Dr.
gentleman is impugning the reputation of a member of Congress.
Yeah.
Mr. Pallone.
Stop the clock. Can you stop the clock for a second? Can you state the point of order?
All right. See the chick in the back?
Hey, he's got no idea.
He was impugning Mr. Pallone's
Mr. Chairman, I didn't hear it. Did the gentleman?
Oh, you weren't paying attention. That's why.
Well, it's hard to pay attention here when we're not getting any responses.
Okay,
My
okay.
understanding now is that the secretary said something about me taking money from pharmaceuticals.
Wasn't even
Is that what he said?
The secretary
The black chick is
implied that
giving
Mr.
play-by-play for all of them.
would not fight for vaccine.
weren't listening to him
victims
at all.
because he
None of them
took
were.
money from the
That's
pharmaceutical
embarrassing.
industry.
$2 million.
again,
He needs to
You just
take
shut
back
that
those
place
words.
down.
Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Taken down.
You wonder why things don't
Mr.
get done.
Secretary, this is a valid point of order, I'm told.
None of
So
them were.
I'd ask you if you would please take back those words.
No.
Don't do it.
They're retracted.
Thank you,
What?
Mr. Secretary.
There
Too
you go.
bad.
You happy?
Too bad. We got it on the.
He caved.
It's on tape. Who cares? We saw it. We're playing it here on this show. But none of this would have transpired
I want
if
an
the
answer
black
to it.
chick in the back, the aide, had gone in there and told the congressman and the congresswoman exactly what just was said right in front of them. So disrespectful.
Despicable. That was despicable. I mean, he's talking the entire time that RFK Jr. is testifying.
Wait,
He is, but the rest of them aren't listening either.
No,
I know.
And he's like,
I know.
I hear that someone speaking directly to me just insulted my
He's
character.
impugning the character of the congressman. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
pay
impugning the
attention.
whole damn bunch of you.
I'd love to know the response to whether or not he's taken $2 million from pharmaceuticals.
Right, RFK called out Bernie to his face too. I love it when he does this stuff. My boy.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
You know what? In times like this, when everything feels uncertain, sometimes you just need some apocalypse comfort food. Something to comfort you during the apocalypse.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Something downright satisfying. Like, I don't know, Kexi cookies.
That would work.
For instance. Yeah. It's exactly what we try to do with every box, shipped fresh straight to your door. One of our customers, Brittany, shared this about her first Kexi experience, which was pretty recent. She said, first Kexi purchase was a Father's Day gift for my husband, who shared a few bites with me. That selfish bastard. Just a few bites. That's all.
You'd be
That's all
happy
she
with
got.
what you get.
He loved them, and the few
yeah.
bites I got were so good. The flavor had layers, and the texture was soft, but not dry, even after a week. Way better than crumble. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll be ordering again for sure. Love the cookies and love the company. Is family owned and operated in the U.S. Please don't change anything. Keep doing what you're doing. Yes, we certainly will. If you're looking for a treat that tastes like home, it's made by a family who really cares in America, in Texas, America. Give Kexi a try. We're proud to be your apocalypse comfort food.
Oh, that's nice.
We'll help you through the whole thing. KEKSI, Kexi.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Okay, so we had the interesting little exchange between RFK and Pallone yesterday.
That whole thing is maddening.
Yep.
I mean, none of them were paying attention.
We can barely get them to show up for work, and then when they do, they don't even want to do their job.
Never mind what Kennedy was saying. Never mind, which was bad enough.
Yeah,
but none of them are. That's what they're having this hearing about, and none of them are paying attention.
Some aide in the back row by the wall had to come up and say,
"Yeah, I think he said something about you taking money from pharmaceuticals."
Yeah, he's imputing you.
Yeah,
she had to give them the play-by-play so they knew how to respond to RFK. It was absolutely
outrageous. It's absolutely
really
just
outrageous.
Shut that place down.
And I'd love to know the answer to whether or not he's received $2 million from pharmaceuticals.
It's retracted now,
so we don't have the answer.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, so now we'll never know. Chief.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure
look
we
up,
do.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's public knowledge who you take money from when you're in Congress.
Right, but we'll have to do some work to find it out, and I don't want to.
Wait.
That means you'll have to do that, Keith. We just want to believe what Kennedy said.
I'm quite aware.
But apparently...
he's definitely taken a lot of money. OpenSecrets.org, bookmark it.
Okay.
This man, Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there's your answer.
So that's changed his entire outlook
Yeah.
on vaccines. That's pretty amazing. Why would you withdraw that? Stick to it and repeat it. Since you didn't hear me the first time, let me say it again.
That's what I would have almost just stopped talking.
And waited
which I'm not
until he's
opposed to
paying
Kennedy
attention.
doing, actually, but just stop talking until they start paying attention.
Oh, man. Good stuff. So have we banned every food coloring yet? Have we?
I think it's all gone. Yeah,
it's all gone.
It's getting phased out.
It's all gone.
Yeah. So all our food's going to be brown. from now
No,
on,
it's just going
brown
to
and
be
gray.
naturally flavored instead of
Every
chemicals.
box on the shelf is going to lose its color too. I mean, they're after everything. It's just going to be going to be cardboard. Here's your cereal in a cardboard box.
We're streamlining pre-authorization for medical procedures. That was a big thing.
Are we?
East Palestine, Ohio now. They held a press conference last week where they talked about how the government or how the train company is going to pay for the health care for all of the fallout from that disaster.
Yeah.
My boy's getting a lot done over there, okay?
It's amazing how close I live to East Palestine, Ohio, I'll tell you that.
Have we banned fluoride yet? Have we done that?
In some areas we have, yeah.
Because if you want it in your toothpaste, that's great. I don't want it in the water.
Right.
Unless we decide, I want you to put it in my water.
There's plenty of places that are
when
doing
you don't
that
have any
now.
choice in the matter, that's where I think there's a problem. If you're just dumping fluoride into the water system.
Making us dumber.
Yeah.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Okay.
And that too.
All right.
Again, as I stated the other day, way ahead of his time.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you're right, you're right. What are you going to do? So... I mean, taken in big quantities, fluoride can be dangerous.
Absolutely.
I think everybody admits that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And in fact, RFK actually did, what is it? The ingestibles. The ingestibles, I don't know if they were banned or they're about to be banned or something.
Is that like the Lunchables?
Yeah, sure.
The Lunchables are okay, but the ingestibles
All right, now
are
that
not.
pisses me off because I like those Lunchables.
I do too.
The ingestible
Take the
fluorides.
ingestibles
I
away
like
from
those.
me.
I know, thank you. He's ticking me off now.
FDA begins action to remove ingestible fluoride prescription drug products for children from the market. This was a month ago. So
that is on.
We're going to have more kids running around with rotten teeth.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
right. That's
no,
right.
again, you can keep it in the water or
keep it in the toothpaste, whatever you want to do.
All I know is it's being banned.
Take fluoride pills if you want to. But
no, you can't. The ingestibles.
But knowingly do it. Not just have it in the water supply so everybody just, you just get it whether you want it or
just
not.
get it.
So, I don't know. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders.
Incredible that Bernie
as
Sanders
his guest.
okayed this.
Kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here they are talking about climate change.
You got to deal with this climate change issue. And I know that, there are some people who think climate change is a hoax.
Yep.
It ain't a hoax.
Yes, it is.
I think the last 10 years have been the warmest
No.
on record. And we can
No.
create millions of good-paying jobs, transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency, to solar, to wind, and other sustainable energies.
Why is
I think the climate change issue is very complicated. And I think, did you see the Washington Post piece that they wrote where they did this long-term view? First of all, the reality is that the Earth's temperature has never been static, right? We could both agree on that. It's always been up and down. There's been ice ages and heat waves.
Thank you,
and
Joe,
then
for making
the
that
Washington
point.
Post looked
Thank
at
you.
it. What was the time period that they looked at?
Jamie, look it up.
Yeah.
Essentially, they found that we're in a cooling period.
I love that.
That the Earth over
He's
the
great.
past X amount of years
How many was
And this
it?
was like a very inconvenient discovery.
Yes!
But they had to report the data, and kudos to them for doing that. Scientists have captured the Earth's climate change over the last 485 million years. Here's a surprising place we stand now.
Okay.
So look at the far end of that graph, and you see we're in a cooling period.
Huh.
Well,
So it's
I'm
not
not
that
sure.
hot, is it, Bernie?
I didn't read that article, but
Yeah.
the scientists who are out there, I think.
I know, but there's a lot of money involved in that too, Bernie.
Thank
That's part of
you.
the problem. There's a lot of money involved
stuff,
in
man.
this
This
whole
is good
climate
stuff.
change emergency issue, and there's a lot of control, and that's a big part of this problem.
Yes.
I just fell in love with Joe Rogan.
And that was the Washington Post, by the way.
That was a Post?
That was the Washington Post he was showing that from.
Holy cow.
I hope the tide's turning.
It's not going to because there's too much money involved, like he just mentioned.
Yeah, he went on to explain.
Yeah.
These science. It's just like Robert Kennedy talking about the pharmaceutical industry has their hands in these vaccine approvals and the board that he was discussing. It's the same thing with the climate scientists.
It's all this
They're getting
consensus
money.
garbage, though.
Yeah.
You know, we just had consensus about the Big Bang, too. And now everybody's jumping off that bandwagon.
They sure are.
Everybody, every scientist, every astrologer, everybody is saying, yeah, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe it didn't start that way. Maybe we didn't come from one teeny tiny little dot that blew up and created everything. Maybe it didn't happen that way. You know, in fact, maybe we live in a black hole. That's their new big theory now. Our universe is inside a black hole. Oh, okay. And where did the black hole come from? And
we can't.
How do we start in it? I mean, it's all, they have no idea. They don't know. Just like they don't know about climate change. They don't know. Just like there has always been fluctuating weather patterns, as Rogan just mentioned here, on this planet. And we're in one right now. It's gotten a little bit warmer. So, more food. That's so.
I wish that Joe Rogan had the map that we've been showing the last couple days, where the hottest temperatures, state by state, have been.
So don't give me that. The hottest temperature in the last 10 years ever on the
Jamie's
planet.
not as good as he
Look at
thinks.
this.
He didn't have this.
Jamie's not as good as us.
Not as good as he thinks.
No, because look at this.
Yeah, he didn't have
here
it.
we are.
Again,
Look how many states were in the 30s.
The only because to believe someone like Bernie Sanders, then the majority of those state high temperatures all time should be in recent years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the only in this decade are Oregon and Washington.
Right.
I mean, look at this.
Yep. I mean, you got Idaho 2015 fairly recently. You got some states that had it in the teens or 2012.
2012 was a monster year.
A long time ago. Either in the 90s, some of them are in the 80s, most are in the 30s.
But yeah, if you look at the brown and the reddish and the orange, those records are over 70 years old. And that's the majority of that map.
Thermometers were different then, though.
Is that what it was?
So
I see. Okay,
we got to rethink that and
by the way,
re-scientize that.
And on the Gaia Watch, as we adore Mother Earth, a ship transporting thousands of cars has just sunk in the Pacific after a fire on board. So we have 3,000 EV batteries now.
Is that the one? But that one's been burning, right? That started burning a while ago.
I don't know, but the ship just sank.
Okay, yeah, I think that's
3
been
miles
burning
down
for
now.
a while.
And it had 3,000 EVs on it?
EVs, yeah, it was a lot.
Oh, sorry, 3,000 cars, 800 were EVs. So we have 800 EVs.
They used their fire. They're complaining now that the ships that are hauling these EV cars do not have enough fire retention issues. They used what they normally use, and it doesn't work. They used everything up on this ship, and they continued to burn. And a lot of the batteries look like they're out, but they're not. And then they continue to burn.
That's the problem at these parking garages, too.
Yes, absolutely. So they really have to reconfigure some of these ships that are hauling these EV vehicles. That's what they are, EVs, around the country or around the world.
Isn't it ironic, don't you think, that all of these green solutions are going to end up, I don't know how you quantify this, a net negative on the economy when you take the way they mine for these batteries in places like Africa and the burning of the batteries and the windmills that you have to bury the blades. And I mean, it's just all of these solutions are actually more problems for the environment.
All right. Let me tell you real quick about Beam Organics, because if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that hard work, self-reliance, and showing up for people who count on us is just part of being a good American, a good human. That's what we do. Like our president does for the country. We show up for our families, our jobs, and ourselves. But got to tell you, when there was a time when, there are still, every once in a while, there are times when it's hard to do because you're tossing and turning all night long. You can't get a good sleep. But that's when I found Beam's Dream Powder. Beam is proudly founded in America. It's run by people who share our values: hard work, integrity, delivering results. It's a healthy nighttime blend packed with science-backed ingredients that actually help you sleep. Not just fall asleep, but stay asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. No fog, no crash, just good sleep. And when you start using Dream, like I did, everything will change for you. You'll be energized. You'll be clear-headed. You can actually function. And what's in it? Natural ingredients: reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. All natural, no garbage, just ingredients that really work. And it tastes amazing. Delicious flavors like salted caramel. Just 15 calories, no sugar added. It's an amazing product. And right now, Beam is giving you the ultimate Patriot discount, up to 40% off. You try their best-selling Dream Powder and get up to 40% off for a limited time. Go to shopbeam.com/Pat. Shop BEAM. Shopbeam.com/Pat. Get up to 40% off.
Pat Gray Unleashed continues.
We had more from Joe and Bernie.
Yeah, you're already in love with Joe, is that right?
Oh, already in love.
Oh, wait for this.
Okay.
What it says is, you're a billionaire. You have now the constitutional right, because your money is your freedom of expression, right? So you don't like Bernie Sanders? You can put millions or hundreds of millions of dollars into a campaign and express your view about how terrible Bernie Sanders is, and you can buy that election, right? That's your constitutional right. I think that's probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made. So what is the result of that decision? The result of that decision, let's take us to where
Pause
we
it for
are
just a second.
today.
Can we mention the fact that there are combs on this planet and
Is that right?
brushes? Yeah. And you could actually use one to, if you're going to appear, say, on television like this, or a podcast that's viewed by 11 million people every day, you might just, I don't know, wet it down a little bit.
Wet it down, bro.
And then comb it back, just a tad.
Can we take a break? I got to comb my hair. It's starting to stick up again.
All right,
You could have done that.
Let's take us to where we are today, is that Elon Musk, and I know Elon was on your show, and he's here in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And we could talk about Elon, but he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. Okay. I think that's absurd that any one person.
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
They spent a lot of money on Harris as
They
well.
spent $1.5 billion just over the course of a couple of months.
You got it. All right, let me talk about it. So I'm not here just to say it's a Republican. That's my point here.
You're not?
Okay.
Sure you're not.
That's my point here.
Okay.
That wasn't where you were going.
No.
Stop it, bro.
That is not where he... come on. Nice. Nice for him to have that little fact, too, that she spent $1.5 billion.
Where'd
And it
that money
started
come from?
when? July? Like late July, I think, is when her campaign began, when Biden dropped out? Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he asked him if he was going to run for president in 2028. And
Oh, my gosh. He'll be 80,
right?
What, 6?
He said, I'm 83. Yeah. So.
Well, he's 83 now.
Yeah, right.
Then he'd be.
I'm not sure the American people would be too enthusiastic.
No, we would not.
But.
And his right-hand girl,
This
AOC.
is where I'm going.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
this is exactly what I'm thinking, because he didn't say no, right? Is this because didn't we hypothesize there was some sort of
because
split?
AOC went into New York and promoted the socialist guy, and she beat up Cuomo for being too old.
So
that was her deal.
Right.
And that was after she was done touring with Bernie. So I think they're done because Bernie's way older than Cuomo.
Does he think that she's going to be a primary opponent in 2028?
That's what I'm wondering. Be surprised, yeah.
That's what I'm wondering, man. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be Bernie and AOC ticket. Oh, God.
No, I don't think so. No way she runs with Bernie. No way.
Okay. The stranger things have happened in this country. Have you lived through the last decade? I mean, come on.
I mean, if you've lived through the last 5 minutes,
no doubt.
You know how crazy things are.
Is the ceasefire still on? Are we still good? I mean, it was on when we started the show.
It was, but I'm not positive.
I wanted to double check.
I'm glad you reminded me. Trump is meeting with Zelenskyy today. I saw a headline come up, so I guess they are gonna. I guess he's giving him 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But speaking of running for president, did you see Tucker Carlson talking about how he was approached in 2024? What do you think about this? Watch this.
The Murdochs really hate Trump. There's no one that hates Trump more than the Murdochs. I got fired in April of 2023. In May of 2023, they asked me to run for president against Trump and said they would back me. Obviously, I'm not running for any, I would never get elected anyway. Plus, I like Trump. I mean, that's the funny thing is I actually genuinely, I get frustrated. I'm frustrated now.
So hold on. I'm
like
sorry.
Trump.
You just said that and they asked you to run for president against Trump, the Murdochs.
Yeah. Lachlan Murdoch said, you should run for president. We'll back you. The whole thing, the whole
Fox News apparatus.
And not just Fox, but, Wall Street Journal.
All of them,
papers,
Times, everything.
London. Absolutely, yeah, we'll back you.
And that came right from...
You should do that. I was already gone. They'd already canceled my show. I was still under contract, but they canceled my show. You should run. We support you. You should run.
We want to stop Trump.
Yeah, well, he was running.
Wow. Interesting.
What do you think about that? I feel like it might be damage control for the whole...
It very well may be.
Disagreement over Iran, right?
Oh, that most definitely is.
And now I think he's trying to signal, I could have run, but I respect and love you so much that I didn't.
Well, he's always said that, though. And he campaigned for him. He said that in the Cruz thing, too. He's always big on...
Yeah, but he's in a little hot water right now because he was pretty adamant about... not attacking Iran.
It's curious.
And it seems to have worked out quite well, at least so far. We are holding. At least there's no breaking news about the ceasefire being broken.
What's the population of Iran, by the way, Pat?
92 million. 92
I'm
million.
glad you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite new lines now. Anybody starts talking about, what's the population of Iran?
It's good stuff.
It is good.
That's awesome.
Also, Vice President Vance spoke to the Ohio Republican Party, where he described what it's like in Washington, D.C. right now.
Trust me, in Washington, D.C., they have this thing where I think it means we're number one in Washington, D.C., but all the pink-haired people throw up this sign, and I think, that means we're number one, right? I choose to take that as that symbol in Washington, but all kidding aside...
No.
Oh, you're kidding? That's not what that means?
Oh, no.
Oh, weird. No. I thought that's what it meant.
Gosh darn it.
You're number one. I guess not. I guess he wasn't serious about that. Huh. He also gave us a behind-the-scenes look at working alongside President Trump.
And the president looks over at me, puts the foreign leader on mute and says, "This is not going very well," and he presses the red button. And my eyes get really big, and I'm like, "Mr. President, what just happened?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Nuclear." Nuclear.
Hilarious.
And 2 minutes later, a guy walks in with a Diet Coke, and he looks back at me and he says, "It wasn't nuclear, it's just the Diet Coke button." And that's
funny. That's funny.
So that's the kind of guy, and my fellow Republicans, that we have as the President of the United States.
That's good stuff.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it is.
I love that.
Nuclear.
All right. 7 American stealth bombers flew roughly 37 hours, as you know, to bomb Iran's nuclear sites over the weekend. And Insider.com got together with some B-2 stealth bomber pilots to ask them what it was like to fly for essentially 2 solid days. They were among a handful of B-2 crews that headed to, that made the trip.
Yeah.
And apparently, the co-pilot said that the in-flight movies were outdated. So I guess it wasn't. They didn't like it that much. The first in-flight movie shown was The Breakfast Club with Molly Ringwald. Yeah. And the second was Conan the Barbarian.
Both of them a little disappointing.
Didn't like either one of them.
No way.
And I think that's a legitimate beef about it. They also complained that the co-pilot refused to put his seat back in the full and upright position.
He always does that. That's why I didn't want to do the trip with him.
Yeah, not good. Not good. But apparently they trained on B-2 bomber cross-country flights back and forth and would just keep going across the country to train for this mission. And so there were an awful lot of flight hours that went into this thing. So this wasn't the first time they made a flight of that length, because they've been doing it for a while so that they could get ready for this. And I would think you would pretty much have to. You don't want people falling asleep at the wheel, I'm guessing, on a flight like this, 37 hours to Iran and back, because there is no stop along the way. They don't stop and have a bite to eat. Although they do, I guess they have a refrigerator in the thing.
Yeah,
they've got a bed or a cot or something in the thing. I mean, it's going to be fascinating when we hear all of the details of what went into this, because it was an incredible operation and incredibly successful. All right, we've got overtime coming up. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.